All right, so to get started with this project, I do have a number 3 weight yarn here. It requires a 4mm hook, and we are actually going to be dropping down to a 3.5mm hook for this project. It's going to make a much tighter stitch, and so I chose to use Lion Brand's A Star Is Born in white. It took me a little over one skin of this, so it's about 500 to 525 yards to complete 2 of these. I'll mark all of the information down in the comments though, as always. And then I also have 2 of the 2-inch metal rings. I got these off of Amazon for crafting. And I've got 1/8 inch barb connectors to go in our 1/4 inch PVC piping. I will mark down in the comments the exact measurements for these and go over a little bit how I do this. I do take my barbs and actually put a little bit of some type of super glue inside of one of the holes, one of the ends, and then I pop one of the barbs in there and I let it dry for a couple hours, and then I'll do it to the other side to close the hoop. And these are really great. They're better than tape. I found these recently. And then you'll also need some scissors, a darning needle, and as always, a row counter is advised. And that's how we're going to get started on this project. It is going to be 22 rows, including when we attach it to our PVC tubing. So let's go ahead and get started. Moving into row 1. So I've got my 3.5mm hook here, and I've already tied my yarn with a double knot to the ring. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up that yarn. I'm going to go in the middle, and I'm going to grab my loop, and I'm going to pull up to the front, and I'm going to chain 1, okay? Now we're going to place 5 double crochets in the ring. So 1, 2, if you've never done this before, we're going to be yarning over, going in the middle, out the back. We're going to pull up our loop to the front. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Now you'll see that I hold down my tail against the ring so that I can crochet over it. So let's do number 4 together. And let's do 5. Yarn over, go in the middle and out the back, pull up your loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Now go ahead and chain 2, and you're going to place a double crochet in the ring. Then you're going to chain 2 again, and you're going to repeat that a total of 6 times. So let's do it one more time together. 5 double crochets here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and place a double crochet. Oop, don't do that. And then I'm going to chain 2 again. So it's going to look like this. So you're going to repeat that 4 more times, 5 double crochets, a chain 2, a double crochet, and a chain 2. And you'll have a total of 36 double crochets and 12 chain 2 spaces at the end of this round. Moving into round 2. So I will help you slip stitch at the beginning of every round, only because we don't always slip stitch in the same place, and I just want to help you with that. So before we get started, I'll always help you slip stitch. So you're going to go into the top of that very first double crochet, pull through both loops as well as the loop on your hook. Now go into the next stitch and do another slip stitch, okay? You're going to chain 1 at the beginning of every starting stitch for this pattern, and now what we're going to do is place 3 double crochets. So put your first one in that stitch that you just slip stitched into, then do number 2 in the next stitch, and number 3. Okay, now in this next double crochet we're going to place 2 double crochets. So 1, 2. Now for a few rows, we're going to be doing this next part, and it is a little bit tight, but you're going to actually place 2 double crochets where you see that little hole is in that chain space. So you're going to feed your hook in that little hole and complete 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2. Okay. Now you're going to chain 2. And you're going to place a double crochet in the top of that double crochet. You're going to chain 1. And now we're going to yarn over. We're going to skip this first double crochet of your next cluster, and we're going to go into the second one. And we're going to do our repeat. So we need 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and then 3. That's going to take us to our last double crochet of this 5 double crochet cluster. We're going to place 2 double crochets in that stitch. 1 and 2. And now we're going to place our 2 double crochets in that little hole from the chain space, okay? So, it's so tight, but it's really important that you place them in that little hole. 1 and 2. Okay. Chain 2 and place a double crochet in the top of that individual double crochet. And then you're going to chain 1, and you'll do your repeat by starting in the second double crochet of that 5 double crochet cluster. So repeat that 4 more times, and at the end of this round you're going to have 48 double crochets, 6 chain 2 spaces, and 6 chain spaces. Moving into round 3, we are going to be slip stitching into the top of that first double crochet. So go through both loops, pull your loop through all 3 of the loops on your hook. Now slip stitch into the next double crochet, or the second one there. Now I'm going to chain 1, and we're going to do 5 double crochets starting with the very stitch that we just slip stitched into. So 1. The nice part about this pattern is we just start the repeat for every single round. This is going to be number 3, right in the stitch that we slip stitched into to join. So 4 and 5. Now we're going to place 2 double crochets in this last double crochet here. 1, 2, and we're going to place 2 double crochets in that chain space, the little hole that we did like the last row. So 1 and 2. Okay. Now you're going to chain 2, 1, 2. You're going to place a double crochet in that double crochet again. And you're going to chain 1. Let's do the repeat again together. We're going to skip this first double crochet and go into the second one with 5 double crochets. Oh, don't do what I did and drop your yarn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place 2 double crochets in this last double crochet. 1, 2. You're going to place 2 double crochets in that chain space, the little hole underneath it. So 1 and 2. Chain 2. Place a double crochet in that double crochet by itself. Chain 1. Now you're going to do your repeat 4 more times. You're going to start in that second double crochet. I'll see you at the end. Moving into round 4, you should have 60 double crochets, 60 chain 2 spaces, 6 chain 2 spaces, and 6 chain spaces. But again, all of that should be down in the comments for you to follow. So what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into the top of that first double crochet, and we're going to just chain 1, and we're going to place 9 double crochets starting in that same stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now you're going to place 2 double crochets in that hole of that chain space, which mine is really tight for this round. So 1 and 2. Okay. Now you're going to chain 2, and you're going to place a double crochet in that double crochet. Oops, don't drop your yarn like me. You're going to chain 1, and then you're going to repeat. So go straight into the very first double crochet this round. 1, we're going to do 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now you're going to place 2 double crochets in that chain space hole. So 1 and 2. Go ahead and chain 2. Place a double crochet in the top of that double crochet, and chain 1. That's going to complete our repeat. So go ahead and repeat that all the way around, 9 double crochets with 2 double crochets in the chain space, a chain 2, a double crochet on top of the double crochet, and a chain space. 4 more times. All right, moving into row 5, you should have 72 double crochets, 6 chain 2 spaces, and 6 chain spaces. So we are going to slip stitch into the top of that very first double crochet. We're going to chain 1, and you're going to place 2 double crochets in that same space. 1, and give me a second, my yarn's pulling. 2. Now you're going to place 9 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oop, you see dog hair. 8. True crocheter, I just keep going. And 9. Now in the last double crochet, we're going to place 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2. Okay. So now you are going to chain 1, and you're going to place 2 double crochets in the top of that double crochet. So 1. Why my yarn is giving me such troubles. And 2. Then you're going to chain 1 again, and you're going to repeat that. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to place 2 double crochets in the very first double crochet to start our repeat. So 1 and 2. You're going to place 9 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now I'm going to place 2 double crochets in that last double crochet. 1 and 2. Okay, I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to place 2 double crochets in the top of this double crochet. 1 and 2. And I'm going to chain 1, and that completes our repeat. So go ahead and repeat that all the way around 4 more times. Moving into round 6, I do have 90 double crochets here and 12 chain spaces. So we're going to be slip stitching into the top of that very first double crochet. I'm going to chain 1 to get started. And now we're going to place 3 double crochets in that space. So 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to place, hold on one second, 5 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're going to actually do 2 double crochets together. So you're going to yarn over, go into the first stitch, pull up your loop, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through three loops. Yarn over and pull through 2. You're going to do 5 more double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're going to chain, and then in between these 2 double crochets, you're going to put your hook, and you're going to do a double crochet, a chain, and a double crochet. And this is like a V-stitch, and I'll refer to this as a V-stitch as well as a double crochet, chain, double crochet. You're going to chain 1 again. All right, so let's go ahead and do that together again. We're going to place 3 double crochets. This is the start of our second repeat. So 1, 2, 3. Place 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to do 2 together. So yarn over and put your hook in that next stitch, pull up your loop, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2, and do 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Do your chain 1, and then in between the 2 double crochets, you're going to do a V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1. So go ahead and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, you're going to have 90 double crochets, 18 chain spaces, and 6 double crochets, two double crochets together. All right. Moving into round 7. So we are going to be slip stitching into the top of that very first stitch. Okay. Just like this. Ooh. You're going to chain 1, and we're going to place 3 double crochets in that stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. All right, now you're going to place 11 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we're almost there, 10, and 11. And now we're going to do these last two together. So we're going to yarn over, go into the first one, pull up your loop, go into the second one, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over and pull through 3. Go ahead and chain 2. You're going to place 2 double crochets in that chain space in the middle of the V-stitch. So 1 and 2. And chain 2 again. Now let's go ahead and repeat that together. So we're going to put 3 double crochets in the first double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to place 11 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Now we're going to do the last 2 together, or DC 2 together. So yarn over, go into that first stitch, pull up your loop, go into the second stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 3, yarn over and pull through 2, chain 2. Now you're going to place 2 double crochets in that V stitch. So 1 and 2. Go ahead and chain 2. And repeat that 4 more times all the way around. At the end of this round, you're going to have 96 double crochets, 12 chain 2 spaces, and 6 2 double crochets together. Moving into round 8. So we're going to be slip stitching into the top of that very first double crochet. Oh, might be a little bit loose and slippery just because there's 3 in there and it's kind of tight. So go ahead and chain 1. You're going to place 3 double crochets in that stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. Now this go, we're going to actually crochet 12 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now with these last 2 double crochets, we're going to yarn over, go into the first one, pull up your loop, go into the second one, pull up your loop, yarn over and pull through 3, yarn over and pull through 2 for a 2 DC together. You're going to chain 2, 1, 2, then yarn over and you're going to place a V-stitch between these 2 double crochets. Okay, so double crochet, chain 1, and put that double crochet in between those 2 double crochets, chain 2. Let's go ahead and do that together again. So place 3 double crochets in that first double crochet. 1, ooh, I missed my place. 2, 3. We're going to do 12 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we're going to yarn over, go into the first stitch here, pull up your loop, yarn over, go into the last stitch here, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 2, and we're going to place our V-stitch in between both of these double crochets. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and complete this repeat with a chain 2. Okay, so repeat that 4 more times. At the end of this round, you're going to have 102 double crochets, 6 double crochet 2 togethers, and 12 chain 2 spaces and 6 chain spaces. Moving into round 9, we are going to be slip stitching to the top of that first double crochet. Seems like I always want to pull my hook out. All right, so chain 1 to get started, and we're going to be placing 3 double crochets in that stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. And now you're going to place 15 double crochets. That's going to take you all the way to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. You're going to chain 2 and place a V-stitch in that V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Go ahead and chain 2. So let's do that one more time together. For our repeat, we're going to place 3 double crochets in the first double crochet. 1, 2, 3. We're going to place 15 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Go ahead and chain 2, 1, 2, and place a V-stitch in that V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and wrap up this repeat with a chain 2. So repeat that 4 more times, and you're going to have 120 double crochets, 12 chain 2 spaces, and 6 chain spaces at the end of this round. All right, moving into round 10, we're going to be slip stitching to the top of that very first double crochet. We're going to chain 1 to get started. We're going to be placing 2 double crochets in that first stitch. 1, 2. Now you're going to place 16 double crochets. That should take you all the way to your last stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. On the last stitch, you're going to place 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2, 1 and 2. Now in your V-stitch, you're going to place a V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet, chain 2, 1, 2. So let's do that together again. Give me a second to pull my yarn. It is just catching and catching on my eczema. I apologize for that. So we're going to place 2 double crochets to get started with this repeat in the top of our first double crochet. So 1, 2. Place 16 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We're going to place 2 double crochets in that last double crochet, 1, 2. Go ahead and chain 2, and then you're going to place a V-stitch in the middle of your V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and wrap it up with a chain 2. Okay, so repeat that 4 more times. Your little ghost body's starting to really build up, and I'll see you at the end. Moving into round 11, you should have 132 double crochets, 12 chain 2 spaces, and 6 chain spaces for round 10, excuse me. We're going to be slip stitching into the top of that very first double crochet. We're going to chain 1 to get started. All right, so now you're going to place 3 double crochets for the beginning of our repeat in that first stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Go ahead and do 18 double crochets, and that's going to take you all the way to your last double crochet. All right, I've come to the last double crochet here, and I'm going to be placing 3 double crochets in that stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. We're going to be chaining 2, and we're going to be placing 3 double crochets in the V-stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2. So let's go ahead and do that together again. We're going to be placing 3 double crochets in this first stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Now you're going to place 18 double crochets, which will take you all the way to your last double crochet. All right, I've got my 18 double crochets, and in the last stitch, we're going to be placing 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. You're going to chain 2 and place 3 double crochets inside that V-stitch. So 1, 2, and 3, and chain 2. And you'll start the next repeat in the very first double crochet here. So repeat that 4 times more. And at the end of this round, you're going to have 162 double crochets and 12 chain 2 spaces. Moving into round 12, we're going to be slip stitching to the top of that first double crochet. And go ahead and chain 1 to get started. We're going to be placing 2 double crochets in that first stitch. 1, I'm going to lose my yarn, and 2. Now, you are going to be placing 22 double crochets, which is going to take you all the way to your last stitch. I'm going to have you do that by yourself, and I'll meet you at the last stitch. Alright, so I've got my 22 double crochets and I'm up to my last stitch. We're going to be placing 2 double crochets in that stitch. So 1 and 2. Chain 1, and in this middle double crochet of your 3 double crochet cluster, we're going to be placing a V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet. Go ahead and chain 1, and we're going to repeat together one more time. So in the first stitch, we're placing 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Now, go ahead and place your 22 double crochets all the way to the last stitch by yourself. Alrighty, so I've got my 22 double crochets, and in the last stitch, we're going to place 2 double crochets, so 1 and 2. We're going to chain 1. And in that middle double crochet, you're going to place 3 double crochets. So a V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet. And chain 1 again. So go ahead and repeat that all the way around 4 more times. And at the end of this round, you're going to have 168 double crochets and 18 chain spaces. And that is going to be a V-stitch in that center double crochet of your 3 double crochet cluster from the previous round, okay? Moving into round 13, we are going to be slip stitching to the top of that first double crochet to get started. Go ahead and chain 1 as well. So in this stitch, you're going to be placing 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2. Go ahead and do 2 more double crochets. 1 and then 2. Now, in the next 2 stitches, you're going to be doing 2 double crochets together. So pull up your loop, go into the second stitch, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2. Go ahead and chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to skip the next double crochet and go into the next one with a double crochet 2 together. So pull up your loop, go into the next one, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 3, and your chain might have made your hook twist. Yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, now you're going to do 10 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now go into the next stitch, pull up your loop, go into the following stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2. Chain 4, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to skip a stitch, go into the next one, do 2 together. So pull up your loop, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2. Go ahead and put 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. And in the last stitch, you're going to put 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2. Okay. And now we are going to chain 2, 1, 2. and we're going to put 2 double crochets in the chain space. So 1 and 2, chain 2. Okay, let's do that together again. We're going to go into this first stitch with 2 double crochets. 1, 2. Do 2 double crochets, 1 into the next stitch, 2 into the third stitch here, yarn over, and into the next 2 stitches you're going to be putting them together. So put your hook in, pull up a loop, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 4. Okay, you're going to skip a stitch and do 2 double crochets together. So pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2. Go ahead and do 10 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. In the next 2 stitches, we're going to be putting them together. So go in, pull up a loop, go into the second one, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 4. Skip the next stitch, and you're going to do the next 2 together. So pull up your loop, go into the second stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2. Do 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. And you're going to place 2 double crochets in the last stitch. So 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2. You're going to place 2 double crochets in that V-stitch. 1, 2, chain 2. And you're going to repeat that 4 more times. And we're starting to build the ghost little hands here. And so we're starting to make his little face in his hands. So I'll see you at the end. Moving on to round 14. So we are going to be slip stitching into the top of our first double crochet. Maybe. We're going to slip stitch 2 more times. So 1 and 2. Go ahead and chain 1 to get started, and now we're going to start our repeat. So you're going to place a double crochet in that same stitch that we just slip stitched into. And then we're going to double crochet 2 together. So go into the next stitch, pull up your loop, go into the second stitch, pull up your loop, yarn over, and pull through 3. Yarn over and pull through 2. Chain 5. You're going to skip this chain 4, and you're going to go into the next stitch, and you're going to place 2 double crochets. 1, 2. Okay, now we're going to place 2 more double crochets in the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2. And now into this next stitch, you're going to place a double crochet, a chain, and a single crochet into that same stitch you just put a double crochet. Now the next 3 stitches are going to be slip stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. In this next stitch, we're going to place a single crochet, a chain, and a double crochet. I do apologize, my dog is drinking back there. We're going to place 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Now into this next stitch, you're going to place 2 double crochets, so 1 and 2. same stitch, and in this last stitch before the chain, you're going to do a double crochet by itself. Okay, now go ahead and chain 5, skip this chain 4, and you're going to do 2 double crochets together. So go into the first one, pull up your loop, go into the second one, pull up your loop, yarn over and pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2, and then into the next stitch you're going to do a double crochet by itself, and in the next 2 stitches we're going to do 2 double crochets together. So go into the first one, pull up your loop, go into the second one, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2. So now you're going to chain 2, and you're going to place a V-stitch between these 2 double crochets. So double crochet, chain, and double crochet, chain 2. So let's do that again together. You are going to do in this next these next 2 stitches. Wait, let me just double check. We're gonna, oh, this is actually the ending of our repeat here. These next 2 stitches, we're gonna be doing 2 double crochets together. So go into the first one, pull up your loop, go into the second one and pull up your loop, yarn over and pull through 3, yarn over and pull through 3. So that actually completes our repeat, because when we finish up this round, we're actually going to do our 2 double crochets together here, and we'll slip stitch to the top of this very first double crochet that we did in the middle of his first hand. All right, so now let's do our repeat again together. You're going to do a double crochet. In the next 2 stitches, we're going to do those together. So pull up your loop, and then the second one, pull up your loop, pull through 3, pull through 2, chain 5. Skip over this chain 4 and place 2 double crochets into that first stitch. So 1 and 2. Now do 2 double crochets into the next stitches. 1, and the next one, 2. And you're going to do in the next stitch, you're going to do a double crochet, a chain, and a single crochet all in that same stitch. You're going to do 3 slip stitches. It's a tongue twister. 1, 2, and 3. This is his mouth. In the next stitch, we're doing a single crochet, a chain 1, and placing a double crochet in that same stitch that we put that single crochet in. Okay, now do 2 double crochets. A second, my hook keeps getting stuck in a chain. 1 and 2. Then in the next stitch, you're going to place 2 double crochets. 1, 2. Place a double crochet in this last stitch here, chain 5, skip over this chain 4 and do 2 double crochets together. So go into the first one, pull up your loop, go into the second one, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 3 loops. Now my chain did twist, so I'm going to make sure to hold it and get that right, and then yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over, go into the next stitch and place a double crochet, and then these last 2 stitches we're going to put together. So go into the first one, pull up your loop, go into the second one, pull up your loop, yarn over and pull through 3, yarn over and pull through 2, chain 2, and put a V-stitch between these 2 double crochets here. 1, chain, and do your second double crochet, chain 2, and to wrap up this repeat, we're gonna do these next 2 stitches together. So go into the first one, pull up your loop, go into the second one, pull up your loop, yarn over and pull through 3, yarn over and pull through 2. So go ahead and repeat that all the way around. You're starting his little mouth as well as building up his hands for this round. Moving into round 15. So I just completed my last repeat. with 2 double crochets together. I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that double crochet from round 14 and chain 1 as always. Now in this stitch we're going to place a single crochet. Go ahead and chain 7, and you're going to skip this double crochet 2 together and the chain 5, okay? And oops, excuse me, we're going to pop over to this first double crochet and we're going to put a double crochet in the top of that. My chain turned. Then in the next stitch, you're going to place 2 double crochets. 1, 2. Now you're going to do 3 double crochets. That's going to take you up to that chain and single crochet. So 1, 2. The third double crochet here is going to go in the top of that double crochet that shares the space with that single crochet. And now you're going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to skip the single crochet and all the slip stitches in the next single crochet, and we're going to pop over to this double crochet here that shares with that single crochet and do 4 double crochets starting with that stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets in this next stitch. 1, 2. We're going to place a double crochet in this last stitch. Go ahead and chain 7. 1, 2, and then we're going to skip over this chain 5 in the first 2 double crochets together, and we're going to place a single crochet in that center stitch there. That is a double crochet by itself. Okay. Now we are going to keep going on. We're going to chain 2, and in the middle here in this chain space we're going to place a double crochet chain 3 times. So 1, double crochet, chain 2, a double crochet, chain a third one, and we're actually going to place a 4th double crochet in that stitch. And now we're going to chain 2. And that actually wraps up our repeat. So let's do it again together. We're going to skip over this first 2 double crochet together, and we're going to place a single crochet in the double crochet. Chain 7. Skip over this 2 double crochet together in the chain 5 and place a double crochet in the top of that first double crochet. Place 2 double crochets in the next stitch. 1, 2. Place 3 double crochets. It's going to take you up to that single crochet. And 3. We're going to chain 5. Let me turn my work here a little bit. And we're going to pop over here. We're going to skip the single crochet, all the slip stitches in the single crochet, and we're going to do 4 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Do 2 double crochets in the next stitch, so 1 and 2, and place a double crochet in your last stitch here. Go ahead and chain 7. Skip over this chain 5 in the first 2 double crochets together and put a single crochet in that double crochet. Chain 2, and in this V-stitch you're going to do a double crochet chain 3 times. So 1, We're going to do 2. We're going to pop 3 in there. And place your 4th double crochet in that V-stitch without a chain after it. Instead, you're going to chain 2, and that's going to wrap up the repeat. So go ahead and repeat that 4 more times. You'll see that he's starting to get his little mouth going, and his hands are all complete. All right, I'll see you at the end. Moving into round 16. So we are going to be slip stitching into the top of this single crochet. You're going to chain 1 and place a single crochet in the top of that single crochet. Chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you're going to skip this chain 7 and you're going to place 5 double crochets. So pop your first one into that double crochet right there. And of course my chain did turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to place 2 double crochets in this last double crochet here. 1, 2. Now over your chain 5, you're going to place 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. In this first double crochet, put 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. And now you're going to put 6 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You're going to chain 6. You're going to skip over this chain 7 and place a single crochet in the top of that single crochet. Okay, you're going to chain 3, and in each of these next chain spaces you're going to put a V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet in that same chain space. Now jump over to this next chain space and do the same thing. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet back into that same chain space. Jump to the 3rd chain space, do a double crochet, chain 1, and put another double crochet in there. Chain 3. I do apologize for that. The battery stopped working, or the phone did. So I've just completed my chain 3. Let's do this repeat one more time together. So go into the top of that single crochet. You're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to skip over this chain 7. We're going to go into the top of that first double crochet and we're going to complete 5 double crochets total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're going to place 2 double crochets in the last stitch here. 1, 2, and then we're going to place 3 single crochets over this chain 5. So 1, 2, 3. Place 2 double crochets in the first double crochet here on the other side of your chain 5. So 1 and 2. We're going to go and place 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Chain 6. You're going to skip over this chain 7 and you're going to place a single crochet in the top of that single crochet. Chain 3, and now in each of these chain spaces you're going to put a V-stitch for a total of 3 V-stitches. So put a double crochet, a chain 1 in that first chain, put another double crochet there, pop over to the second chain space and put a double crochet, a chain, and a double crochet. Pop to the third chain space, do a double crochet, a chain, and a double crochet in that same space. Chain 3. And that's going to wrap up our repeat. So go ahead and repeat that 4 more times and I'll meet you at the end. Moving into round 17, we are going to be slip stitching into the top of that single crochet. I'm going to chain 1, and we are going to be placing a double crochet chain 3 times in that single crochet. So double crochet, chain, we're going to go back into that single crochet with a second double crochet and a chain, go back in a third time and chain, and go back in a 4th time, but this time you're going to chain 3. Okay, now skip over this chain here and you're going to be popping 2 double crochets into this first double crochet here. So 1 and 2. Okay, and now you're going to be doing a double crochet in this stitch, a chain, and a single crochet goes into that same stitch that you just put that double crochet into. We're going to slip stitch 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Now into this next stitch we're going to do a single crochet, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to place a double crochet into that same stitch. Crochet 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Into this next stitch you're going to do a double crochet, you're going to chain 1 and place a single crochet in that same stitch. Slip stitch 3 times. 1, 2, 3. In the next stitch you're going to place a single crochet, a chain, and a double crochet. Place a double crochet in the next stitch, and in the last stitch you're going to put 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Go ahead and chain 3, and in the top of this single crochet we're going to be doing the same thing that we did over here with this single crochet. So we're going to be doing a double crochet and a chain 3 times. So 1, chain, put a second one there, chain, a third one, a chain, and now you're going to place a 4th one in that stitch. And this time we're going to chain 2. And now we're going to pop over here. We're going to skip this first V-stitch and we're going to place a V-stitch in the middle of the first and second V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet. Chain 1, and you're going to skip this middle V-stitch and put a V-stitch between the second and third V-stitches. So double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet. Now you're going to chain 2. So let's go ahead and do this repeat one more time together. We're going to place a double crochet chain into the top of this single crochet 3 times. So 1, chain, 2, chain, put a third one in that single crochet, chain, and put your fourth one in that, single crochet, chain 3 this time instead of 1, and now pop over here by skipping this chain 7 and place 2 double crochets in this stitch. 1, 2. Place in the next stitch a double crochet, a chain, and a single crochet. Slip stitch 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Do a single crochet, a chain, and a double crochet in that next stitch. Do 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Now you're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch with a chain and a single crochet in that same stitch. We're going to slip stitch 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Place a single crochet in the next stitch with a chain and place a double crochet in that same stitch as that single crochet. Place a double crochet in the next stitch and place 2 double crochets in the last stitch here. 1 and 2. Chain 3. I'm going to turn my work a little bit, and now we're going to be doing, in this single crochet, we're going to double crochet chain 3 times. So here's 1 with a chain. Let's do a second one, chain, a third one, chain. Put a 4th one in there, but this time you're going to chain 2. 1, 2. You're going to skip this V-stitch, and in between the first and second V-stitch, you're going to put a V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet back into that same spot, chain 1. Skip the second V-stitch, and in between the second and third V-stitch, you're going to place a V-stitch. So double crochet, chain, double crochet, and go ahead and chain 2, and that's going to wrap up our repeat. So go ahead and do that 4 more times, and I'll meet you at the end. Moving into round 18, so we are going to be slip stitching to the top of that first double crochet, and go ahead and slip stitch into the chain space. You're going to chain 1 and put a V-stitch in all 3 of these chain spaces here that you have. So we're going to do 1 double crochet, chain 1, place a double crochet, skip over to this next chain space, do a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet, skip over to the third chain space and do a double crochet, a chain, and a double crochet. Now chain 2. You're going to pop over this chain space, and you're going to go into the top of the first double crochet and do a double crochet. 1, do a double crochet into the next stitch. Oops. Into the third double crochet here, you're going to place 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2. Chain 2. Skip over the single crochet, your slip stitches in the next single crochet, and go into the top of that next double crochet with 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2. You're going to do 5 double crochets here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. place 2 double crochets in this last double crochet that shares a stitch with a single crochet, chain 2, skip over your single crochets and your slip stitches for this eye into the next double crochet, and you're going to place 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2. And you're going to place 3 double crochets to close up the ghost here. And a third one. We're going to chain 2. And we're going to pop over to these chain spaces, and in these 3 chain spaces we're going to put V-stitches. So double crochet in the first one, chain, put your next double crochet in that same space, pop over to your second chain space and put a double crochet, a chain, and a double crochet, pop over to your third chain space and put a double crochet, a chain, and a double crochet, chain 2. Now you are going to place in these 2 V-stitches, you're going to place V-stitches. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip this middle chain space and go straight into the next V-stitch with a double crochet, a chain 1, and a double crochet. And close up this repeat with a chain 2. So let's do this repeat one more time together because I know this is a lot. And we're going to do V-stitches in all 3 of these next 3 chain spaces. So do a double crochet in that first chain space, a chain 1, place your second double crochet in there. Oops, I split my yarn. Go into your second chain space here, place a double crochet, a chain, and a double crochet in that same chain space. Pop over to your third chain space, place a double crochet, a chain, and a double crochet in that same space. Okay, now we're going to chain 2. We're going to place 2 double crochets in this first double crochet on the other side of the chain. So 1 and 2. Place 2 double, oops, excuse me. Pull one of those double crochets out. You should only have 1 double crochet in that stitch. You're going to place 1 double, I was reading the wrong line, place a double crochet in the second stitch here, you have 3 total, and in this third stitch you're placing 2 double crochets. Excuse me on that. 2. So that's, in these 3 stitches you're going to have double crochet, and then 2 double crochet. So chain 2, pop over to this next double crochet and put 2 double crochets. So 1, 2. Okay. Now you're going to do 5 double crochets across here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this last stitch, you're going to place 2 double crochets. 1, 2, chain 2. Jump over here to this next double crochet, place 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2. And close out this area with 3 double crochets for these last 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2. Now we're going to repeat above this other hand what we did on the other side. We're going to place in these 3 chain spaces, we're going to place V-stitches. So double crochet in that first chain, chain 1, and place your second double crochet in that spot. Pop over to your next chain space and do a double crochet, a chain, and a double crochet. Pop over to your third chain space, do a double crochet, a chain, and a double crochet. Chain 2. Move my work just a touch. And now we're going to place V-stitches in both of these V-stitches. So double crochet in that first one, a chain, and a double crochet. Skip over this chain space here and go straight into the next V-stitch with a double crochet, a chain, and a double crochet. And close out this repeat with a chain 2. So go ahead and repeat that 4 more times and I'll meet you at the end. Moving into round 19. We are going to be slip stitching into the top of that very first double crochet, and you're going to slip stitch again into the chain space. Chain 1, and we're going to start our repeat with 2 double crochets in that chain space of that V-stitch. So 1, 2. In the chain space of the next V-stitch, we're going to be doing a V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Go ahead and put 2 double crochets in the next V-stitch, 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2. In these next 2 double crochets, we're going to be doing those together. So put your hook in, pull up a loop, go into the next one, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2. Then you're going to be doing 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Turn my work a little bit. We're going to place 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space, 1 and 2. And then we're going to do 9 double crochets, 1 all the way across here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. You'll go ahead and put 2 double crochets in this chain space as well, and 2. And then we're going to be doing these 2 double crochets together. So you put your hook in the first one, pull up your loop, put your hook in the second one, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we're going to be doing a double crochet here in the next stitch. And then we're going to do these 2 together as well. So go into the first one, pull up your loop, go into the second one, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, and pull through 2. Go ahead and chain 2. In this V-stitch, this first V-stitch here, we're going to be putting 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. And then in the middle V-stitch, we're going to put a V-stitch, so double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. In the third V-stitch, we're going to put 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2, you're going to chain 3, and then in this middle chain space here that separates these 2, or this space here, you're going to put 2 V-stitches. So go ahead and put double crochet, a chain, and a double crochet, and then repeat that in the same space. Double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet. And we're going to complete it with a chain 3. So let's go ahead and do that together one more time. In the first V-stitch here, we're going to place 2 double crochets. And the second V-stitch is going to be a V-stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. In the third V-stitch here, we're going to place 2 double crochets and 2. You're going to chain 2. These first 2 double crochets here, we're going to do those together. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 3, yarn over and pull through 2. And you're going to do 2 double crochets here. Place 2 double crochets in the chain space. Do 9 double crochets across to your next chain space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. You're going to place 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space. So 1, 2. The next 2 double crochets are going to be together. Go ahead and yarn over and put your hook in the first one, pull up your loop, put your hook in the second one, pull up your loop, yarn over and pull through 3, yarn over and pull through 2. Place a double crochet in the next stitch. These last 2 stitches are going to be together, so insert your hook, pull up a loop, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over and pull through 2, chain 2. All right. Now we're going to place 2 double crochets in this first V-stitch over here. 1, 2. In the middle V-stitch, you're going to place a V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. In the third V-stitch, you're going to put 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Chain 3. Now here, in between these 2 V-stitches, we're going to be placing 2 V-stitches. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Repeat that. Same space. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Oops. Don't split your yarn like me. All right, where am I at here? I got my 2 V-stitches, so we're going to chain 3. And that's going to wrap up your repeat. So go ahead and repeat that 4 more times, and I'll see you at the end. All right, moving into row 20. This is going to be our last row, and then we're going to attach it to our hoop. So you are going to slip stitch into the top of that first double crochet. Go ahead and slip stitch 3 more times. So 1, 2, and your third one's going to be in that chain space. Chain 1, and now we're going to start our repeat. We're going to put a V-stitch in this V-stitch. So a double crochet, a chain 1, and a double crochet. Now you're going to chain 5. Okay, you're going to skip this DC cluster, the chain space, and the first double crochet, and you're going to yarn over and go into the second stitch, pull up your loop, go into the third stitch and pull up your loop, yarn over and pull through 3, yarn over and pull through 2. Now we're going to do 14 double crochets, so go ahead and complete that. It's going to take you to the third to last stitch. All right, so now we're going to yarn over, go into that first stitch, pull up your loop, go into the second one, pull up your loop, yarn over and pull through 3, yarn over and pull through 2. Chain 5, and you're going to skip this double crochet cluster and the chain space, and you're going to put a V-stitch in the V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Go ahead and chain 5, and you're going to pop over to these 2 V-stitches, and you're going to put 2 single crochets into both of those for a total of 4 single crochets. You'll see I split my yarn, so 1, 2 single crochets. We're going to go right over to the next V-stitch and place 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets. Go ahead and chain 5. And that's all your repeat is. So let's do that one more time together. We're going to put a V-stitch in the V-stitch, chain 1, do my second double crochet here. We're going to chain 5. We're going to skip the double crochet cluster, the chain, and the first double crochet. We're going to yarn over, go into the second double crochet, pull up your loop, go into the third, pull up your loop, yarn over and pull through 3, yarn over and pull through 2. Go ahead and complete 14 double crochets. All right, so I've come to my last 2 stitches of this ghost head. I'm going to yarn over, go into the first one, pull up my loop, go into the second one, pull up my loop, yarn over and pull through 3, yarn over and pull through 2. I'm going to chain 5. Oops. Now we're going to skip this double crochet cluster and this chain space, and we're going to put a V-stitch in that V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, a second because my yarn's tangling, and a double crochet in that same space. Go ahead and chain 5. Skip this double crochet cluster, and in both of these V-stitches you're going to put 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. Pop over to the other V-stitch, put 1 and 2. You're going to wrap up this repeat with a chain 5. Go ahead and repeat that 4 more times, and I will see you at the end so we can attach this beautiful ghost mandala to a hoop. Moving into round 21. So I did take about 12 stitch markers for this round, and I attached on either side of my little ghosties with the chain 5 this hoop to our ghost mandala, and so he's evenly stretched out to our 57.5-inch hoop. And if you're not sure on how to make the hoop, please go check out the video that will explain that on my channel on how to get this hoop working for you. So with that said, for row 21, this is our last row. I'm so excited and proud of you for completing this. We are going to be slip stitching into the top of that very first double crochet, okay, just to get started. And now what you're going to do is actually take your hook and you're going to go back into that stitch, okay, and you're going to go behind the hoop the same way that we did with the ring when we did our very first row. You're going to grab that with your hook, you're going to do a yarn over, and then you're going to complete a single crochet in the stitch, the same stitch that you slip stitched into. Now into the chain spaces of all of our V-stitches, we're going to be placing 2 single crochets around the hoop, okay? And it's important for me to note that every single one of the stitches that you have, we are going to be placing a single crochet in those all the way around, okay? Make sure that you're going into both loops. Now for these chain 5 sections, you're going to put 5 single crochets. If you want it a little bit more tight, you can do 6, but I found that 5 is plenty. So this is going to be 3, 4, and 5. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove my stitch marker here, and I'm going to place a single crochet into the top of this ghost head in every single stitch, okay? And you'll see where my yarn is starting to connect, or I had to move on to another skin. I'm going to crochet right over that tail, all my single crochets into each of these stitches for the ghost head, okay? Make my life a little bit easier and not have to worry about those tails. Okay, you'll see I'm just easily going into the stitch and around the hoop with single crochets. This is going to stretch this mandala really nicely for you. Almost across here. Oop, dropping my yarn. See if I can pick it back up. I did. Go me. All right, this is a little bit of the tedious part of this project, so bear with yourself, you got this. I do find that putting it on a table is a little bit easier. The table seems to keep the hoop and my arms from getting tired, keep the hoop stable, and my arms just have a lot more support to work with. All right, so I'm all the way across his head, and now I'm going to place 5 single crochets in this chain space. 2, 3. Again, you can place 6 here. I don't find that I need it, but now we've come to this next V-stitch. We're going to place a single crochet into the top of that double crochet as well as around the hoop. We're going to place 2 single crochets in the chain space of that V-stitch. Maybe 1 and 2. We're going to place a single crochet in the top of that other double crochet that made up that V-stitch. We're going to place 5 single crochets in this chain 5 space. Ooh, I dropped my yarn again. It gets a little bit tight here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to place, in each of these single crochets, we're going to place a single crochet. Now, if you want a little extra support, you can put, this is my second single crochet here, you can put a single crochet between them, but again, I feel like that's overkill. But if you're super new to crocheting and yarn still isn't your comfy zone, feel free to add that stitch there. And now to wrap up this repeat, I'm going to remove these stitch markers, and we're going to place 5 single crochets in this last chain 5. And I'm not going to do this repeat with you again just because the hoop is always the easiest round, even though it's the most tedious. But go ahead and go watch this round one more time just to see how else you're going to do this. But that's number 3. Now I've got 4 and 5. So I'll write the stitch count for this row off the top of my head. I don't know how many single crochets you're going to have for row 21, but I will pop it down in the comments, or you've probably already seen it, as obviously I've posted this after I've recorded. So thank you so much for doing this with me. It was absolutely fun. If you need help attaching your wheelchair covers to the wheelchair, I am making a video for that, as well as for your PVC tubing. I will have a video on the channel for that as well. So thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing everybody's ghost mandalas on their wheelchairs. All right, to wrap up this mandala, I did go ahead and count stitches for you guys, and I'll pop them here even though they are down in the comments. It should be 288 single crochets. But to wrap it up, we are going to slip stitch 3 times by starting in the very first single crochet with a slip stitch. And then we're going to slip stitch 2 more times after that just for safety net. And then you will weave in your ends or your tail. And you might have a couple of them because you probably had to switch yarns if you're using this yarn, especially that I used. And so you'll just want to weave that in probably 3 times, go back and forth like a zigzag. And I usually cut off about 6 to 8 inches just to give me enough leeway. And that is going to be the ghost mandala.